I'm Richard Randall, and welcome back to the Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker. She is your real estate voice, and this is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with Barb Schlinker, your host and the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Now, Barb, real estate has been clouded with uncertainty ever since the Fed started raising interest rates. Some people decided to sit on the sidelines and not buy. Tell us why waiting to buy a home might not be the very best strategy.
Well, what's interesting, Richard, is that despite the Fed's efforts to stop inflation by raising interest rates, it didn't do enough work as far as decreasing demand. The inventory is still very, very low. Market values continue to rise. And we're going to be covering some really interesting trends that show that real estate is a great investment. Let's look at this one. One thing that happened kind of since COVID, there were a lot of people buying and selling homes sight unseen. And so we saw this sudden, unexpected digital transformation. A real good example would be the QR codes. You know, they were around for 10 years before anybody really started using them. And then when COVID came out, the restaurants reopened, they didn't want people touching stuff. So they started having people use QR codes and everybody got used to them, which is kind of cool. But the big thing for real estate typically is the imagery. The imagery quality has gotten so much better over the past 5 years in particular that buyers are actually making a decision about buying a home before they ever step foot in the door. They're making offers sight unseen. And they're basing those offers on the imagery, high quality still photos, 3D tours, drone images, videos, virtual staging, Google mapping, all this kind of stuff has really, really changed. So why is it more virtual now? Well, it's probably easier and more convenient. I know when I first started in the business back in the 90s and really probably into the early 2000s, it was very unusual for a buyer to make an offer on a home sight unseen. Even if the agents were the boots on the ground that went and looked at it, it used to make me really nervous because I'm like, what if they get here and see it and go, oh, I don't love it anymore, and they walk away, you know, or what if they've already closed on it and they hate me for not telling them about some defect that I didn't catch. It's very nerve-wracking, a lot of responsibility for an agent to take that on. But what has changed is back then, the typical buyer would physically go in and look at anywhere from 20 to 40 homes on average before they would make a decision. My record, as I recall, was 127. That was their count. It was so cute. I remember riding in the car and they're like, we just like riding around on a Saturday looking at houses with you, Barb. And I'm like, okay, great. You know, but
they just finally a hobby, right? I mean,
it seemed like it, but they finally did buy a house. But anyway, but if you're seeing that a home is presented poorly online, that means very few buyers are going to want to go see it. And there'd be two reasons for that. Either the online presentation is not good or the price is beyond what they're expecting for what they're seeing there. So if the buyers don't like what they see online, very few will even bother to go look at it. And that's very different than what happened maybe 10 years ago. You know, typically we could get somebody in the door. We could get somebody in the door even if there weren't any pictures. That's not the case anymore. We can put as a minimum one outside picture online and advertise a home. But now I've had buyers telling me, if I don't see pictures of the rest of the house, I won't trust it and I won't go see it. Isn't that interesting?
Wow.
So the whole digital thing has really, really changed. Pricing's critical, and then marketing it appropriately is critical. And then once you do go on the market, if those things are not aligned, if it's not priced right, and if it's not marketed right, the market will tell you immediately if you missed it. You can tell by if there's absolutely no showings, you're probably off by at least 6% on price. or it could be marketing. If you're getting just a few showings, you're probably maybe 3 to 5% on price. If you're getting showings, but no offers, maybe 2 to 3%. And if you're getting offers, you're right there, stay there. It's just a matter of time before you actually get a contract. You know, I have one recently where I got an offer, and this really surprised me, Richard. I still feel like the home is priced right. It is getting showings, but we've had one offer. But when the offer came across, they wanted a $30,000 discount. That was probably a 6% off the asking price. That's quite a bit.
That is quite a bit.
They wanted 20,000 off the price, plus they wanted 10,000 seller closing cost. You know, so the seller said, all right, I'll counter you. I'll give you a little discount. And the agent actually came back and said that was well, she didn't use the word bad, but she goes, that was a bad counter. And I was like, really? You're entitled to a discount just because? Where did you get that idea? Are you researching the market and what's going on right now? Didn't you even look at similar sales? It's pretty obvious that it was priced realistically, not optimistically. What makes you think you're entitled to a discount? Do you not know that the market values are rising right now? To me, that was just a low information agent. And it's unfortunate for her buyer because her buyer is probably not going to end up with a house at all. All right. So another trend would be moving out of the urban areas. That happened since COVID for a couple of reasons. People ended up having to work from home. A lot of people really like it. And so not every business has brought everybody back full time. Many of them are still a couple days a week. I have a relative that works for an insurance company. She's in Florida. Her company's in Chicago. So it's happening quite a bit. And as long as they're logging in and doing their job, I don't think the employers mind as much. So it gives the freedom of people to live where they want to because they can telecommute instead of really commuting. A lot of wealthier people are moving by choice. And another big trend that we're seeing is there's a lot of people moving into all the Sunbelt states. I did some research to find out just in the counties all along the Front Range, where are most of the buyers coming from? There's a lot of assumptions out there. Like I assumed, you know, Teller County attracted Texans, but that there are some Texans, but that wasn't the biggest number. So I found out the number one county coming into El Paso County are coming from Phoenix, Arizona. All the rest, the next top 2 or 3 are coming from Denver, some from Chicago, a little bit from LA, and that's about it. And that trend was pretty consistent, except for like Douglas County, as an example. A majority of people moving to Douglas County are coming from Arapahoe County or Arizona or Denver. So it's not what we thought. Same thing with Denver. A lot of people coming from other counties around Denver into Denver County. Same thing with Arapahoe and Teller County. A majority of the buyers going to Teller County are actually coming from El Paso County. So it's really surprising to see that. And so I think people really love Colorado. They're just kind of gravitating towards the places where maybe they can have a better lifestyle because they can telecommute now. My name is Barb Schlinker. I'm with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Barb has the buyer's team, and I'm the host of Your Real Estate Voice. Right now, we're talking about the top real estate trends and how the market is changing. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about the real estate trends and what home buyers and sellers should do to prepare if they are planning on making a move. And if you are planning on making a move, one of the services that we provide is information about what to do and what not to do to get your house ready for sale. We also give you a good idea what a buyer would pay for your home, how much you put in your pocket when it sells. If you're interested in that service and you'd like to talk with us, you can go to barbhasthebuyers.com or give us a call at 719-301-3900. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice, and that is Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. She's the host of the program, and she is the expert in Colorado and along the Front Range when it comes to all things to do with selling and buying homes. If you're interested, give her a call, 719-301-3900. And we're talking, Barb, about top trends that show real estate is a great investment. What should home buyers and sellers do to prepare if they're planning on moving?
Well, it's interesting, Richard, that we are still in a market where the number of available homes for sale are very low. We just got new stats for El Paso and Teller County. We still don't have Denver stats yet, but basically we're seeing the inventory pretty much as low as it's been since the market really started heating up. It's not like what people think. Our new listings are down by 25% as compared to the same time 5 years ago. The average days on market are dropping, and the average price and median prices are rising. So if you are thinking of making a move, you want to make sure you talk to an agent that really understands the market. That way you can win in this market. If you're a buyer, you need to know if you're up against competition. Many of my listings have had multiple offers. The last 4 or 5 that I've closed, I've enjoyed multiple offers and sold for over asking price. If you're the buyer that doesn't know that, or the agent doesn't ask that question, it might not mean that you will win when you purchase a home. And we do have buyers on our website, over 27,280. Typically, I could find at least 100 that are a high match for your home. So if you are thinking of making a move and you'd like to get that free in-home consultation, especially if you're going to move in the next 2 to 6 months, go to barbhasthebuyers.com and click on Find My Buyer, or you could always call us at 719-301-3900. Richard?
You're listening to Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. If you're thinking of making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll be discussing how to be the best home on the block when you're selling your home. Stay tuned for that.